Happening right now on Morning News Now, Hurricane Erin on the move after lashing the Atlantic coast with high winds, powerful waves, and dangerous flooding. This morning, the Category 1 storm churning away from the U.S., with some of her impacts still being felt. We're tracking Erin's path and the damage left behind, plus another series of storms taking shape offshore. Also this morning, on patrol in the Capitol, President Trump thanking National Guard troops and other law enforcement after a week of duty on the streets of D.C.
It's like a different place. It's like a different city. It's the Capitol. It's going to be the best in the world. Right now, it's better than it has been in years. And in a couple of weeks, it's going to be even far better than that.
Meanwhile, Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell set to speak today as he faces mounting pressure to lower interest rates. And in California, state lawmakers paving the way for a special election to redraw its congressional map. We'll bring you the latest. Plus, a major setback in the Menendez brothers' fight for freedom. More on the ruling that keeps Eric Menendez behind bars for now, as his brother Lyle prepares for his own hearing later today. And there's new guidance when it comes to COVID vaccines, what you need to know, and how it could impact your wallet. Good morning, I'm Brian Chung in for Joe and Savannah. It's great to be with you. We start this hour, though, with Hurricane Erin's march up the East Coast. Hatteras, North Carolina, is starting to pick up the pieces after Erin's powerful waves washed away dunes, flooded highways, and damaged homes along the coast. After battering North Carolina's Outer Banks, Erin's effects are still being felt further north in places like Norfolk, Virginia, and Ocean City, Maryland, where flooding has closed several roads. Erin has now set its sights on New Jersey, where the Garden State is now under a state of emergency as strong winds brought down power lines. This morning, first responders are out in force along the coast trying to keep people safe and out of the water as Hurricane Erin creates heavy waves and powerful rip currents.
If you're not a lifeguard, you don't have fins, you don't know what you're doing, you should not be in the water at all.
NBC News meteorologist Angie Lastman is here with the forecast. But first, NBC's Erin McLaughlin is in New Jersey with the latest.
Hey there, Hurricane Erin may be churning hundreds of miles away from here, but she's been wreaking havoc up and down the eastern seaboard from the mid-Atlantic to New England, leaving dangerous conditions behind. Yesterday here in New Jersey, the governor declared a state of emergency. Overnight high tides pushed water into coastal towns here, flooding streets in Margate County. Get this, fire officials say overnight they rescued at least 50 people stuck in rising waters. And then further south, Maryland and Delaware beach towns were also inundated. And in North Carolina, Erin's closest approach left entire neighborhoods in the Outer Banks flooded. The main highway there is still shut down this morning. And spare a thought for the sea turtles in Emerald Isle, North Carolina. Their nests along the water's edge under threat due to Hurricane Erin. Officials now racing to save them. Here in New Jersey, the big concern today, it's just absolutely beautiful outside. The sun is shining, and they're worried that these conditions will tempt people back into those waters where potentially deadly rip currents remain. They say don't go into the water. Red flags are expected to stay in place through Saturday. Back to you.
Erin McLaughlin, thanks so much. Now let's bring in NBC meteorologist Angie Lastman, who's got a closer look at Hurricane Erin's impact on our weekend weather. Angie, good morning. As she was saying, it looks beautiful out there, but there's some real risks.
Yeah, and we're going to see those improved conditions. Good morning, Brian. We've got still like a hurricane on our hands, but it is moving away. So that's where the positives come in, when it takes most of those threats away, but we still do have some lingering effects. So let's get you those details. The latest that we have, 90-mile-per-hour winds, so that makes it a Category 1 hurricane, and it's moving northeast at a pretty good pace, 22 miles per hour. That northeast movement means out of here it goes, no longer impacting most of us across the East Coast, but leaving a couple of lingering effects as it continues to weaken through the weekend. As we look at our coastal impacts, the first thing on deck is the flooding concerns. Yesterday, forecast verified pretty good. We saw some inundation anywhere from 2 to 4 feet across parts of the mid-Atlantic, and we're going to see that kind of improve through the day today, but I wouldn't be surprised if we still have some minor flooding out there. Wherever you see these kind of orange dots, that's minor flooding. We've got some moderate flooding happening across a couple of spots as well. So maybe some water still on the roadways and still some potential road closures across this region. But again, this is going to improve here as the day goes on. What doesn't seem to improve as we get into the first half of our weekend, at least, are those rip current risks. That's going to stay with us. Notice the high risk up and down the East Coast. I know it's a busy kind of late summer weekend where a lot of folks want to get to the coast, but making sure you're heeding those lifeguard warnings and noticing that there will be red flag warnings winds up and down the beach is going to be key for safety this weekend for the East Coast. As far as our wind gusts go, we saw yesterday some impressive gusts, 30, 40, 50 plus miles per hour wind gusts. Not the case so much now, but it is still going to be kind of breezy and a little gusty at some points. Notice Nantucket, we're expecting a peak wind gust through tomorrow into the high 30s. Places like Montauk, Long Beach, Atlantic City, you're going to be a little breezy as well, 20 plus mile per hour winds. So just something to note if you're going to be near the coast. Otherwise, on the other side of the country, we've got heat alerts to talk about. 47 million people. And it's not just the desert areas. It's up and down, basically, the West Coast from top to bottom, where we see temperatures headed into the 90s. And if not 90s, they're into the triple digits. Medford, expect 106 for your high temperature today. We've got 111, Brian, in Phoenix. These temperatures going to be oppressive and, unfortunately, not a whole lot of relief as we get into your Saturday as well. And we'll keep that fire risk for Southern California, too.
Wow, a heat dome on the West Coast, but it felt like fall in New York yesterday.
Yes, and
it was windy,
honestly,
and
the Northeast is going to have a lot of sunshine too, so that kind of dial back of our temperatures, a whole lot of sunshine. It'll make for a pretty good weekend as long as you're staying out of the water.
Any fun plans for the weekend?
Oh, I'm actually going to the shore, so
whoa,
I will not be in the water.
I was going to say, yeah, watch out for those rip currents. Always swim sideways. Angie Lassman, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Of course.
Well, let's now shift to Washington, where President Trump is touting his recent crackdown on crime. On Thursday, the president joined law enforcement officials and National Guard members who he deployed to the streets of D.C. in a patrol of the city. He commended their efforts and the safety of the nation's capital.
Everybody's safe now. Everybody feels safe. And this capital is right now, after 4 days, 5 days, it's at a level that you haven't seen in a long time, and it's all because of you.
The president also taking something of a victory lap after a big legal win yesterday. For more on this, let's bring in NBC News White House correspondent Monica Alba, who joins us now with all that and more. Monica, good morning. Let's start off about the president's visit with the National Guard troops and federal officers. Obviously, this has been part of the federal effort from the White House to try to crack down on crime in D.C., but have crime rates improved as much as he says they have?
Well, it's hard to really tell, Brian, in this short amount of time, but the White House says yes. And remember, this is the same White House and Department of Justice that is now actually investigating D.C. police data because they don't believe what the current statistics reflect, which is a 30-year low in violent crime. So they are looking into that matter because they say that that wasn't true, and that is why the president ordered this federal crackdown of the district, which is within his authority, at least temporarily. The question is, how long will this go on? And by any indication, the fact that he continues to bring in so many National Guard troops and so many federal agents are detailed to this effort, it does seem it could go on for weeks, potentially months, but he would need to declare a national crime emergency to extend it beyond 30 days unless he gets congressional approval. But this is a real priority for the president, and that's why the White House says he wanted to get out there and greet the law enforcement personnel and the troops in person. He wanted to thank them. It came a day after Vice President Vance had gone to Union Station and was met with some protesters and hecklers there because he was in a public area. But President Trump went to a heavily secured area where U.S. Park Police have been stationed. Brian.
Yeah, the president trying to take a victory lap there, although, as you point out, not necessarily clear yet on the results as far as crime in D.C. But what is true is that he did get a big legal victory after a New York appeals court dismissed the $500 million civil fraud penalty against him. That was a huge penalty at the time. What explanation did the court provide for this decision? And how is New York Attorney General Letitia James, who brought the case against him, responding?
Yeah, Brian, and this was a 320-page opinion in which actually the judges were divided. Two of them said that essentially there should be a new trial in this. One wanted to throw it out altogether. And then another was saying, in effect, and ultimately this is what ruling was, what did go forward, that that penalty was excessive, that it was too much money, the more than $500 million. So they're throwing that out while the judgment of fraud in this case against the president, against the Trump organization and his two sons, that still stands. And so that's why you have the New York Attorney General Letitia James saying that she's going to appeal the court's ruling. And she wrote in her statement, in effect, that because the court did rule that the president violated the law, she believes the case has merit. So that will continue from there. But it is a big victory in the sense that that $500 million penalty has now been thrown out.
Yeah, $500 million. Well, let's now turn to the Supreme Court, if we may, Monica, because they're allowing his administration to move forward with cuts to grants that are totaling nearly $800 million through the National Institutes of Health. So walk us through the justice's reasoning there, and what does that mean for researchers at the NIH?
So basically, they allowed a lower court to stand in this case, and that is part of the president, the Trump administration's effort to eliminate so-called diversity, equity, and inclusion practices when it comes to these research grants. They want to take that out. And remember, that was a big priority when the president took office earlier this year. So this has worked its way through the courts. And now the Supreme Court, again, is allowing that to stand. But there was a portion of this ruling that will still play out in the lower courts. And so it's possible that this could change again. But this is, in effect, right now, telling those researchers and saying that those grants cannot continue to be paid out from the National Institute of Health. So this is something that the Trump administration had been pushing for, but again, has to continue its legal process.
Yeah, and could have wide-ranging implications for the types of research that they do there. Monica Alba, thanks so much. Appreciate it. Well, later this morning, Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell is expected to deliver an important speech which could weigh on the interest rates that you pay. The high-stakes speech, which will be also closely watched by markets as part of an annual meeting hosted by the Kansas City Federal Reserve in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. And all of this comes at a tumultuous time for the tariff-dogged economy and also comes with the political rip currents of pressure from President Trump to lower interest rates. NBC News business and economy reporter Emily Lorsch is here to break down what to expect. Emily, it's great to see you this morning.
It's great to see you as well. Good morning, Brian.
So let's talk about what we should expect to hear. I know that you don't have a crystal ball into what the Fed chairman's going to say, but any clues on what he might deliver in this speech?
Brian, it's a review that occurs every 5 years, and there's a lot of suspense at this moment of exactly what the chairman will say and how far he'll go. He's expected to use this speech to address the economic outlook and talk about the central bank's longer-term balancing act between fighting inflation and unemployment. The Wall Street Journal is reporting that the Federal Reserve is set to revise its policy framework away from its approach in 2020, the last time this speech was made. And Powell is expected to lay out those changes. But all eyes and ears will be open as investors will be listening closely for any clues that Powell may offer about a possible rate cut at the next Fed policy meeting in just a few weeks in September. After cutting its benchmark rate by a full percentage point last year, the Fed has held interest rates steady since December. That's even though President Trump has put pressure on the Fed to cut rates and has gone after Powell with attack after attack. Inflation is still running above the Fed's 2% target, and many Fed policymakers are worried that President Trump's sweeping tariffs could put more upward pressure on prices. Holding rates steady could act as an insurance policy to help keep inflation in check. On the other hand, the labor market is showing signs of weakening, which argues for lower rates. Powell and his colleagues have to soon decide which of two significant risks takes priority now, with the Fed's goals of low, stable inflation and high employment being in tension with each other. How much we'll learn today, though, Brian, will be decided, and we'll have to just wait and see. We can't really, like you said, we can't really predict.
Yeah, well, there's that balancing act, as you point out, between inflation and unemployment. But how are we expecting this speech to be different from years past?
Well, first of all, Brian, this is going to be Powell's final keynote address in Jackson Hole as chairman, and we're expecting a very different keynote from 5 years ago. Think about it. 2020 we were in a pandemic, right? So the Fed wanted to really stimulate the economy, and so the Fed was okay with inflation being a bit above its 2% target. Since then, we've seen high inflationary periods where, as you know, you've been covering
Yep.
President Trump's sweeping tariffs and then also a weakening labor market. So we're in a very different economic environment right now. So economists are really expecting the framework to be very different from what was laid out 5 years ago.
Yeah, economists are saying, and I've been hearing that, they're just like, this is a really, really difficult moment for the Fed, not just for all those reasons that you outlined with the tariffs, but also because of the political pressure. But let's talk about what markets are expecting. They're expecting a rate cut. And even some members inside the Fed are saying, hey, we think there is reason for a Fed rate cut here. But what matters is the top dog, Jerome Powell. Do we expect him to kind of say one way or another whether or not a rate cut is coming in that next meeting in September?
Investors are certainly going to have their eyes and ears peeled. They're hoping for some sort of a clue or some sort of an indication of a monetary policy shift. As you know, Powell in the past has given some of those hints in the past during his speeches. But, Brian, that's not really the point of what we're expecting today. Economists really are expecting an overall economic outlook.
Higher level.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And a framework for the next 5 years.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see. I know one person that will probably be watching is President Donald Trump.
Definitely.
Emily Lorsch, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Well, the redistricting battles playing out in red and blue states across the country are escalating this morning. California's Democratic-controlled legislature quickly passed a set of bills on Thursday that paves the way for a special election this fall that would give voters a say in approving or rejecting the party's plans to gerrymander the state's congressional map. It comes as Texas is on the verge of redrawing its own maps, and the Senate committee there advancing its redistricting bill yesterday, sending it to the full Republican majority Senate for approval. For more on this, let's bring in NBC News Capitol Hill correspondent Julie Sirkin. Julie, good morning. Let's start in California. What exactly are people in that state voting on when it becomes that ballot measure in November?
Well, it'll be up to voters, Brian, on November 4th to decide whether they will accept these partisan maps that lean heavily in the direction of Democrats after Governor Gavin Newsom signed those proposals passed by his state legislature yesterday. And look, this proposal is intended to be partisan. Is it intended to be the next chess move in this game of chess launched by Republicans after President Trump pushed Texas Governor Greg Abbott to redraw the maps in his state, which we saw happen, of course, this week. Governor Abbott could sign that as soon as today after the Senate passes it. But in terms of California, this is going to be up to the voters. And look, it's intended to be temporary because after the 2030 census, the maps are intended to go back to the nonpartisan drawings that they were before Governor Newsom made this move. I want you to take a listen to what he had to say yesterday. Watch this.
This is not an election we expected to be holding on November 4th, but they shot the first bullet. They took an action in Texas and were responding to it. This was not an organized effort. This was a reaction to an assault on our democracy in Texas. And we're going to continue to support those that are of like mind to get the vote out and to get the word about what this is all about.
So basically, the bottom line is Democrats stand to gain up to 5 seats in that state after Republicans stand to gain 5 seats in Texas after that is fully signed into law. But here's the thing. Republican legislators, lawmakers here in D.C. that I've been talking to, some of them in California have been trying to appeal to their state lawmakers there. We even heard from the Republican minority leader trying to say, look, quote, somebody has to refrain from striking back and show a better way. Clearly, Democrats aren't willing to play nice if Republicans aren't here.
So, Julie, let's go from Sacramento to Austin now in Texas. The redistricting plans there, I mean, it's basically going to happen. It's just a matter of when. So when should we expect to see this full Senate vote?
You're exactly right. It's basically a done deal at this point, and that's because, Brian, before we saw that dramatic 2-week standoff with House Democrats, Senate Democrats didn't push back in the same way in Texas. Of course, some of them did, but the bottom line is they already passed a version of this map before. Now that the House passed it, the Senate has to pass it again. It did pass out of a committee yesterday, advancing to the full floor. They're gaveling in at about 10 a.m. Eastern, a couple of hours from now, so they do expect to pass it today, and then Governor Greg Abbott said he will sign it into law. This effort has been widely praised by the president, who's been applauding the Texas lawmakers. This is also kind of viewed as a loyalty test to see how far all these people are willing to go. I think I shared with you yesterday, Brian, that when I was talking to a Democratic state lawmaker, Chris Turner, in Texas, he shared with me that he has had conversations with Republicans across the aisle who didn't want to support a partisan move like this, mid-decade gerrymandered redistricting, but they did, because this, of course, is viewed as another loyalty test for the president, one that he applauded and praised and said that he would move out to other red states, too.
Yeah, and while you mentioned that, there are also some high-profile figures that are talking about the redistricting battle kind of nationwide as well. We know the president is backing Texas, but now former President Barack Obama is also weighing in.
Oh, Obama is very supportive of this effort. He is encouraging Democrats to fight back. And this is really a pivotal moment when you think about the 2024 election for Democrats. It didn't go well. That is an understatement. And they're really still trying to soul search and find their direction. But, man, we saw just the crowds in the Austin state capitol, protesters, people largely supportive of how Democrats have gone about this. Not many want them to refrain. Of course, some Democrats do, as do some Republicans, because the reality is they stand to be drawn out of their districts, at least in some states, in some cases. But Barack Obama, the former president, very supportive of this effort. Other Democrats nationwide as well. And remember, these Democrats in Texas, Texas. They went on the road intentionally. Not only did they speak with Governor Gavin Newsom in California, but they also met with Kathy Hochul in New York, Governor Pritzker in Illinois, and they want other blue states to follow suit as well because, as I mentioned, this doesn't end with Texas. President Trump promised to push the Missouri state legislature, to push Indiana to do something similar as well.
Wow, gerrymandering, it seems like arms war happening among the states. Julie Sirkin, thanks so much. Appreciate it. Well, alongside the redistricting changes, Texas Republicans have also been fighting another controversial battle in their state. GOP leaders are pushing to revive a so-called bathroom bill that would require people to use public restrooms according to their assigned sex at birth. That bill passed the Senate and will be in front of a House committee today. NBC News Capitol Hill correspondent Ali Vitale joins me now with more on this. Ali, it's great to have you on the show. This is the latest in a long string of anti-LGBTQ plus laws that have been pushed by Republicans in the Lone Star State. And it's that trend toward restrictions that's stoking fear among families, so much so that one has made the tough decision to leave not just Texas, but the United States altogether. What is all this about?
It means that this one family that I spoke to exclusively, Brian, feared so much for their family, their security, that they made the tough call not just to leave the place that they've called home for so long, their entire lives, but instead to leave the country altogether.
15-year-old Libby Gonzalez is a lot of things.
She steals my clothes more than I steal hers.
No, I don't.
That is so not true.
A sister, daughter, friend, and she's trans in Texas, a state that's one of the most restrictive in the country.
I love being here and I love my friends, and despite everything that's wrong with our state, I love it here.
So why are you leaving?
Because it's no longer safe for us.
So the Gonzalez family is leaving.
Already crying.
Not just Texas, but America.
I don't think it's one last straw. It was a buildup. We decided as a family that the onslaught that we knew was coming with this administration was going to make an environment far too unsafe for our family to stay here.
Where are you going?
Well, we're not sharing where we're going because my kids deserve a fresh start. We deserve safety.
It's a choice Rachel knows most other families like theirs can't make.
The majority of people don't have the means to up and leave. And this is why we need allies to step up.
The Gonzalez family knows the fight. When Texas considered a bathroom bill in 2017, Libby, then just 7 years old, testified in Austin.
I am 7 years old and I am transgender.
As Libby's gotten older, Texas has passed other restrictions, including a 2021 ban on trans girls in sports.
She's not a competitive athlete, but she wanted to be able to do the things that her classmates and friends were doing, and that was taken away.
In 2022, Governor Greg Abbott instructed the state's child welfare agency to investigate parents and doctors who provide gender-affirming care for trans youth, equating it to child abuse. That's temporarily blocked now by a court injunction.
If that moves, my husband and I will be criminalized for supporting our daughter and making the very best parenting decisions that we possibly can. How can we stay here knowing that that's a potential?
In the wake of their departure, the very bathroom bill that sparked Livy's activism in the first place is back in front of lawmakers.
It's just really annoying to see how all of my entire childhood just...
In recent years, Texas has become an epicenter for the national fight over trans rights, reaching a fever pitch with this ad from 2024.
Kamala's agenda is they, them, not you.
That left Democrats splintered on the issue.
Can a man become a woman?
Can a man become a woman? No.
Thank you.
Trans Americans are not the problem. This obsession with monitoring kids' genitals is absolutely the problem.
Reaction to the Gonzalez family story also mixed on the street in Dallas.
That is sad. My brother and his husband have also thought about doing the same thing because it's just not. They feel like they're being targeted.
I'm not against trans, okay?
Yeah.
But God put us on earth, man and woman, not for trans.
We're supposed to be a country that welcomes everybody.
That political debate, a deeply personal one, as Libby prepares for what's next.
What does it feel like that you have to leave now?
It feels disappointing, frustrating, knowing that so many people don't think that I should be allowed to be like anyone else. Like, I don't deserve to have the rights that everyone else has.
And Brian, Rachel told me that she wanted to tell this story to just show people how this issue is more than just politics. It's one that's shaping the course of their families' lives. I've spoken to the Gonzalez family since we taped this. They have moved and they're settling into their new home, getting ready for back to school. They said they were sad to leave the home that they'd always known, but there was also some hope in our conversation about a fresh start, being in a place that's more pro-trans, has better access to health care, but also doesn't have them worrying about how every special session or executive order could limit or restrict Libby's life.
Wow, some really powerful reporting there. Thank you so much for bringing that to us, Ali Vitale. Appreciate it. Well, in California, the Menendez brothers have been dealt a major blow in their fight for freedom. A parole board denied Eric's bid for release yesterday, ruling that he should not be released from prison. And in a hearing that lasted nearly 10 hours, Eric argued his case remotely from the San Diego County prison where they are currently being held. His brother Lyle is set to appear before the parole board today. All of this coming after a Los Angeles judge resentenced both brothers to 50 years to life in prison for the murders of their parents back in 1989. I'm here with NBC News legal analyst Danny Savalas for more on this. Danny, good morning. It's great to have you here. So yesterday's hearing, it was a long one, right? Like 10 hours. That's a substantial amount of time. Why did they end up rejecting Eric's bid for parole after all of that time?
It was based on a number of factors, but based on some of the statements that were made there, the parole board was looking at his history while in prison. And while it was reported that he had some a cell phone usage that's against the rules, there were really some more incidents than that. Some potential violence, some potential disputes with other prisoners while in prison. And really, I mean, one of the things that stood out to me is Eric essentially said, well, during the time that I thought I was never getting out of prison, yeah, I broke some of the rules with cell phones because who cares? I mean, if I get in a little trouble, it's worth it to me. It was only after I found out that I had a shot at getting out that I was on my very best behavior. And obviously, I'm paraphrasing, but moments like that, and also moments where he essentially blamed his parents still. I wasn't raised with the right morals, essentially, was what he was saying. That doesn't look that good to a parole board that really is looking at issues of taking responsibility, accountability, and remorse. And I get that Eric still wants to maintain his innocence in case he gets a new trial, so he's walking a tightrope. But I don't think the parole board really bought what he was selling.
Well, I mean, Danny, the next natural question is that Eric is not Lyle. Eric has had his hearing. Lyle's hearing is today. Is there any reason to think that Lyle's hearing will end up differently than his brothers did yesterday?
Yeah, I try to go by the odds. I mean, just straight up, anybody walking into a California parole board hearing has about a 70% chance of not getting parole. But you're right in that the parole board will probably try to treat very similarly situated defendants or offenders similarly. But there is the possibility that Lyle may have a better prison record. He may have done less in the way of infractions. That's 30 years of a totally different history that might make the difference. But I expect, if you're going to bet, I think the odds are that both brothers will suffer the same fate.
But could it be a cell phones difference?
It could be cell phones. I mean, yes, but it's not just about cell phones. And by the way, as a criminal defense attorney, there is a bit of irony or silliness in this hearing, because if you're in prison for 30 years, you are going to use a cell phone. Believe me, every criminal defense attorney will tell you they get a call from an unknown number about once a week, and it's a against the rules cell phone call that exists in the gray area. I'm not admitting or denying anything, but this is a reality of life. So for a parole board to go in there and act haughty about somebody using a cell phone is a little unrealistic. But on the other hand, it does demonstrate that someone is still willing to break the rules.
Okay, quickly, what happens next? Because the parole board ruled that Eric won't be able to seek parole again for 3 years, but the brothers are still actively pursuing. What are their options here?
Exactly. So separately, they're pursuing what's called a habeas petition. They're basically asking for a new trial based on newly discovered evidence. I can tell you, as someone who files those, they have about a 1% chance. So a real long shot, although they do have some new evidence that you don't normally have. Separately, the parole board, 3 years until they come back, and then always they could get clemency from Governor Newsom. And by the way, whatever the parole board had decided, if they decided to parole them, that would have gone to Governor Newsom too. So Governor Newsom really has the power here.
Yeah, which we've been discussing throughout this entire process. But Danny Savalas, thank you so much for walking us through it. Well, much more to come here on Morning News Now, including later on this hour, the FDA changing its recommendations on COVID vaccines, and it could impact how much you pay out of pocket. We'll tell you what you need to know. But up first, new this morning, a UN-backed group formally declaring famine in Gaza. We have the latest from the Middle East. Next, stay with us. We're back now with the latest in Ukraine, where Russia is ramping up its attacks on the war-torn country. More than 600 drones and missiles were launched in western Ukraine yesterday, leaving buildings destroyed and residents on edge. This comes despite a continued push for peace from President Trump. NBC News chief international correspondent Richard Engel has the latest from Kharkiv, Ukraine.
Russia launched a ferocious barrage of hundreds of drones and missiles across Ukraine, the most intense assault in weeks. Many of the attacks were far from the front lines, setting huge fires around Odessa and burning homes in Lviv. Ukraine has air defenses. They were active over Kyiv. But when Russia fires so many drones over a wide area, they're difficult to stop. The Russian attacks are intensifying as President Trump pushes for peace, trying to set up a face-to-face meeting between Ukraine's President Zelensky and Russia's President Putin. In a small village near the front lines, Mark Antal, a retired American special operations soldier, is teaching first aid to the families of Ukrainian troops.
The wars I fought don't exist anymore.
Antal has been coming to Ukraine nearly every month since Russia invaded. He says Russia's war now is driven by drones.
What's that like? The difference between fighting people versus a robot flying in the sky that you can't see?
I think that is where you're seeing a lot of psychological damage here in the country. The constant fear of always looking around because you don't know what direction it's going to come from.
Russian troops have been making slow but steady advances in Ukraine over the last 2 months, even as President Trump pushes to end the conflict, leading many Ukrainians to suspect Vladimir Putin isn't interested in a deal at all. Richard Engel, NBC News, Kharkiv, Ukraine.
We thank Richard for that report. And new this morning, a group backed by the UN now officially declaring famine in Gaza. NBC correspondent Danielle Hamamdin joins us now with that and more news from around the world in 60 seconds. Good morning, Danielle.
Good morning, Brian. This is by the IPC, the world's leading authority on hunger. They've declared formally for the first time famine in parts of the Gaza Strip. This is happening just as the Israeli Prime Minister says he's ordered negotiations for the release of all the remaining hostages and an end to the war. Remember that earlier this week, Hamas accepted the latest proposal, which calls for a partial release of the hostages. The Israeli military is still moving ahead with plans to control all of Gaza City. Over to France now, and an update in the case of Raphael Graven, known online as Jean Portmanov, who died during a live stream. Forensic doctors have found that his death was not due to trauma, or was it linked to a third party. The French streamer was known for disturbing scenes of alleged humiliation and abuse at the hands of other streamers. And finally to Egypt, off the coast of Alexandria. Take a look at this. Remnants of a 2,000-year-old city lifted out of the sea and into the 21st century. The ruins include statues and buildings that may have served as homes and places of worship. Brian, an absolute feast for archaeologists in Egypt.
I was getting anxiety seeing those ropes taking that very sensitive equipment up, if you will. That was crazy. Danielle, thanks so much. Appreciate it. Well, we're sticking with health news as COVID shots could look a little different this fall. The FDA and CDC are expected to approve its next round of vaccines, but only for older adults and people with underlying health conditions. So that could leave some patients who are in good health facing bills of more than $100 for the shots. There are also fears that changes could fuel misinformation about the vaccine. So let's unpack all of this with NBC News medical contributor, Dr. Kavita Patel. Dr. Patel, good morning. It's great to have you on the program. Let's start with who's expected to get insurance coverage this time around, and why is it a smaller group according to what these two agencies are saying?
Yeah, Brian, I think it's an important point to make that this is going to still be ironed out in at least some guidance from both the Food and Drug Administration, and then right after that, we expect guidance from the CDC. However, given everything officials have said, we expect that the shots will be limited to people who are considered higher risk if they're under the age of 65, and then in general, any adult over the age of 65. And so that begs the question, what exactly does it mean to be high risk? We can break that down in terms of some of the conditions that you see on your screen there. It includes not just the ones that are listed, Brian, cancer, heart disease, lung conditions, but it has a wide variety of interpretation. They're often left to doctors like me and to pharmacists who are administering these vaccines. So I think that's a bit of a caveat and unfortunately will cause some confusion this fall.
Dr. Patel, what do people who are not in these groups need to know? Because presumably the first thing they might be thinking is, well, if I do want the vaccine, then I'm going to be paying a lot more for it.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Brian. So a couple of things that insurance companies have said that they're going to follow federal guidelines, but at the end of the day, the decisions are left up to individual insurance companies and in some cases, even employers who decide what their employees might receive as a benefit. But Medicare and Medicaid, which are two of the largest payers for many children and adults, will immediately likely follow what the FDA and CDC say. So if that's not causing confusion for you and me already, Brian, it's definitely causing confusion for people who are trying to sort this out. So as of today, you can go and get the vaccine. Everything we're talking about does not apply to today, but once the FDA rolls out these recommendations, you can see changes immediately for Medicare, Medicaid, and then likely on January 1st of 2026 for private insurance. The cost out of pocket can be up to $140, but honestly, Brian, doctors' offices and pharmacies are prepared to tell people the out-of-pocket cost before they put the shot in your arm. So you're likely not to get any surprise bills, but just a little bit of a pro tip. We're telling patients that if you're at all concerned, that we can give you the current formulation, and that is likely to cover the viruses that we're seeing in circulation. So talk to your doctor and pharmacist now if you have these concerns.
Yeah, but as you just said, it could be a little confusing. So let's sort through some of that confusion. If you're a younger, healthier patient who might not fall into the high-risk group with some of those conditions we were just talking about on that graphic, if they're wondering, should they get a COVID shot this fall, especially given that it might be more expensive, what would be your advice?
Yeah, my advice would be to go ahead and think about getting it now because, again, between now and January 1st, already we're seeing a lot of viral activity. We've been talking about that on this show lately. So the viral activity is out there. COVID cases are rising. Getting the shot now will definitely protect you for this kind of fall and winter surge that we're seeing. But I think for many people, there's just a lot of confusion and paralysis. So have the conversation now. Reach out to your doctor's office or even have a conversation with your pharmacist. We're all ready to talk you through the risks and benefits of getting the shot now versus waiting several months.
And all this is coming as some doctors are saying that medical misinformation is getting worse. So what can be done to combat that, especially ahead of this new round of COVID shots?
Yeah, that's a great question. I do this myself, Brian, because there are days when it's just much easier to go on my phone and ask Dr. Google questions, even for people like me who have medical training. But I think the most important thing is to look at those resources. So easy to look at a screen, so easy to swipe and kind of click for an answer. Look at verify those resources and check and underline those references to make sure they're coming from reputable sources. Places like your doctor's office or a local healthcare institution can also be a great resource.
All right, Dr. Kavita Patel, appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, coming up, betting big on the Little League. When we come back, the growing concern over offshore gambling as the Little League World Series heats up. And it's not your average dorm room. More college students turning their living quarters into luxury spaces. That looks a lot better than my dorm room. We'll unpack the controversial trend next on Morning News Now. We're back now with the Little League World Series in full swing. But the big headline this morning is not about the series itself. It's about the new concerns surrounding offshore betting on some of baseball's brightest young stars. Here's NBC News correspondent Sam Brock with more.
Legalized sports betting was a nearly $14 billion industry in 2024. Now, betting on youth sports is illegal, at least in the United States, but that's not the case internationally. And we're seeing right now interest is apparently very high when it comes to the Little League World Series. Right before South Carolina's latest Little League World Series stunner.
South Carolina shocks South Dakota.
Their manager facing a question about an emerging trend, gambling on Little League games.
It's not appropriate. It feels dirty, quite honestly.
A 2018 Supreme Court decision opened the floodgates for legalized sports gambling. But betting on kids' sports is prohibited on U.S.-based platforms.
Apparently, because they're minors, we can't gamble on them. I thought that this is America.
For anyone betting on Little League World Series games, get some help.
But at least 2 sites abroad do allow betting on those games, including Panama-based site BetOnline. Brand manager Dave Mason says activity has doubled year over year on the Little League World Series. And while he won't say how much was bet, he does add that Little League wagers yesterday exceeded the WNBA, any tennis match, and all soccer games.
Watch it fly!
For those focused on the health of youth sports, it's a major red flag.
Gambling is the ultimate transactional relationship. That is in complete opposition to the ethos of youth sports.
Tom Ferry runs the Aspen Institute's Project Play.
Professional athletes are having a hard time handling the saturation of gambling in sports. How are kids supposed to take it?
If people are betting on games and they know who's betting on them, it just raises the pressure on these kids.
The Little League organization releasing a statement saying it's a trusted place for kids and that there is no place for betting on Little League games or on any youth sports competition. Now, the folks at BetOnline tell us they're trying to do this responsibly, whereas for an NFL game, you might have a $50,000 betting limit. For these Little League World Series games, it's $500. No parlays and no individual prop plays, so that theoretically, these 11 and 12-year-olds won't be harassed about their individual performance. Though whether that's actually a reality remains to be seen. Sam Brock, NBC News, back to you.
Some pretty alarming stuff there. Sam Brock, thank you. Well, it's time for our CNBC Money Minute with the latest financial headlines. New court filings are shedding light on the business dealings of two billionaire tech rivals. CNBC's Savannah Hanau joins us now. Good morning, Savannah.
Hey, Brian. Good morning to you. Happy Friday. Yes, so Elon Musk, he tried to enlist rival Mark Zuckerberg to help in the $97 billion bid his investment group made for OpenAI earlier this year, but a court filing out yesterday shows the Meta CEO didn't come on board. Now, earlier this month, a judge ruled Musk must face claims from OpenAI that his press statements, social media posts, legal claims, and a sham bid for OpenAI's assets were an attempt to harm the maker of ChatGPT. Musk is suing OpenAI and CEO Sam Altman over the company's transition to a for-profit model. A trial is set for next spring. NBC Universal is in talks with Major League Baseball to carry games on NBC and Peacock in a 3-year deal worth about $200 million a year. And the Wall Street Journal reports Netflix is also close to a deal to stream the All-Star Game Home Run Derby. Now, if the deals go through, NBC Universal would carry baseball on NBC Sunday nights in between football and basketball seasons, for which it also has Sunday night games. ESPN's current contract with MLB ends after this season. And your burrito bowl may soon be delivered by air. Yeah, Chipotle is teaming up with drone delivery company Zipline to fly orders to customers. The service is only available in the Dallas area for now, and Chipotle says customers can download the Zipline app and place their order. Employees will put your food into a zipping point where the drone will pick it up, and it will gently place the order at the destination, Brian.
Will that carry well, though? I feel like I don't know if I want my burrito bowl like soaring through the air.
Exactly. I'm not trusting a drone with my burrito bowl.
I mean, it depends on how bad I guess you want a burrito bowl, but Savannah, thanks so much. Yeah, not sure I'll be doing that. Well, some parents are shelling out thousands of dollars to give their kids extreme dorm makeovers with things like custom art, designer wallpaper, and luxury bedding. But some critics are calling it over the top as parents say they just want to make sure their kids have the perfect space to grow. NBC News correspondent Dana Griffin has the story.
This is my favorite little area.
It's back to school like you've never seen it before.
I think the girls are going to be in love with it.
Extreme dorm makeovers now all the rage at college campuses across the country.
This doesn't look like a dorm room at all. Looks like the Ritz-Carlton. All right.
With some parents shelling out tens of thousands of dollars, even calling in professionals to help transform their kids' humble abodes into the dorm room of their dreams.
They're away from home for the first time. They need their own little comfortable space.
Shelley Gates is the owner of Mary Margaret Designs, and she's gone viral for her elaborate room transformations.
I enjoy being creative. I enjoy doing the unexpected. My end goal is not to be on TikTok. It's not to show off these designs, but my goal is always for the moms to be happy and the girls to be happy.
Oh my gosh.
Sharing her makeovers and reactions on TikTok.
Y'all are the cutest ever.
And business is booming. Shelley quit her job as a teacher to do these all-out remodels full time.
Do you ever get asked to do something that you're like, whoa, that's intense or that's outrageous?
Yes, and I love it.
The chandeliers, plush bedding, and monogrammed pillows, a far cry from the beat-up mini fridges and crooked posters of the past.
Old people like me grew up in dorms that literally were cinder block prison cells. And now our kids are the age to go to college, and we don't want them to have that experience.
And it's not just for girls. Some parents boosting boys' rooms into dapper dens.
From storage solutions to the brick wallpaper, gaming chair, faux leather headboard, and much more.
The dorm design industry taking off in recent years. These before and after pics from another company, Dorm Rooms and Beyond, show just how complex the job can get. Owner Tamara telling NBC News a room like this costs between $12,000 and $15,000. While TikTok may have you believe everyone is participating in this over-the-top trend,
you do not need all of these things to go to college.
Many online are critiquing the lavish lifestyle.
I guess we're just all from very different tax brackets.
I just am like looking at these dorm rooms and I'm like, wow, like you guys would have dropped dead if you saw my dorm room freshman year.
Maya Mendola graduated college last year, but says her dorm looked nothing like these extravagant TikToks.
Everyone had like a funny, cool, interesting theme. Nobody was going for aesthetics.
And when she heard what some people were paying for these makeovers, she was shocked.
I can't imagine a world in which I would spend $20K. I think it's really nuts.
Saying the craze could be putting wealth disparity on full display.
If you see someone in your school that has this room and you're trying to be the coolest version of yourself at this school, well, maybe your room's going to be, I don't know, another $1,000.
A polarizing trend dominating dorm rooms this fall. Dana Griffin, NBC News.
Good morning, I'm Brian Chung. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Joe and Savannah are both on assignment. Right now, Morning News Now, Erin's aftermath. The first monster storm of the season downgraded to a Category 1 and currently off Bermuda. But the threat of life-threatening storm surge remains, with New Jersey declaring a state of emergency overnight. All of this as coastal cities across the mid-Atlantic and New England brace for more whipping winds and flooding. We'll have your full forecast in a few minutes. Plus, no end in sight. President Trump's push to end the war in Ukraine on shaky ground this morning. Russian officials casting doubt on peace talks after unleashing one of the largest attacks on Ukraine in weeks. What Russia's foreign minister is telling NBC News about it and how Ukraine is responding. Also this morning, parole denied, a major setback in the Menendez brothers' bid for freedom as Eric Menendez is denied parole. What the court heard about his alleged behavior in prison and what to expect from his older brother Lyle's hearing happening later today. And finally, later this hour, closing the book. A new study shows America's readers are on the decline, with a steep drop in the numbers of people who turn to books for pleasure. We'll speak with a doctor about why giving up the habit could actually impact your health and your social life. But first, we start this hour tracking Hurricane Erin. The slow-moving monster storm continues to grow in size, with hurricane-force winds extending more than 100 miles from its center. And while it's not expected to make a direct hit to the mainland, Erin's powerful winds, they're already snapping power lines and causing some flooding up and down the East Coast from North Carolina to New Jersey. We're covering Hurricane Erin from all angles this morning. Meteorologist Angie Lassman is here with the forecast. NBC News national correspondent Erin Gilchrist has the latest from North Carolina. But we're going to start first with NBC's Erin McLaughlin, who's in New Jersey.
Hey there, even though Hurricane Erin is turning hundreds of miles away from where I'm standing now, she's still been wreaking havoc up and down the eastern seaboard from the mid-Atlantic to New England, leaving dangerous conditions behind.
This morning, it's a red flag situation as Hurricane Erin slowly churns up the East Coast.
We haven't seen anything like this.
The monster storm remaining offshore. Dangerous rip currents up and down the coast ahead of the summer weekend, and water rushing in overnight. High tides flooding streets of coastal communities in New Jersey. In Margate County, fire officials say overnight they rescued at least 50 people stuck in rising waters. The governor on Thursday declaring a state of emergency.
How dangerous is this?
If you're not a lifeguard, you don't have fins, you don't know what you're doing, you should not be in the water at all. No one should be in the water.
On New York's Long Island, the stormy seas also keeping swimmers out of the water, but still drawing big crowds.
The wave surge is so high, I can't remember the last time I saw it this close.
Farther south, beach towns in Maryland and Delaware inundated with water. But it was Hurricane Erin's closest approach near North Carolina that brought serious flooding to the Outer Banks, threatening homes, balancing on pilings right on the beach. This morning, the main highway to the Outer Banks remains closed.
There is a lot of water and a lot of sand covering the road.
After massive waves pushed through protective dunes, leaving entire neighborhoods underwater. And in Emerald Isle, North Carolina, the race is on to save one of the island's most beloved inhabitants. Sea turtle nests along the water's edge. edge, some destroyed and under threat from the hurricane. Their carers asking the public for help.
You walk along, you see a fresh crawl, just let the turtle people know.
Back in New York, some residents taking advantage of the waves.
This is the biggest swell in 30 years.
And right now here on this beach, it's actually looking pretty good. And that actually has officials worried that all this sunshine will tempt folks back into that water where potentially deadly rip currents remain. They expect those red flag warnings to remain in place through Saturday. Back to you.
Erin McLaughlin, thanks so much. Now let's bring in NBC News national correspondent Erin Gilchrist, who is in North Carolina with the latest. Good morning, Erin. The storm has passed there, but officials say that there still might be some residual flooding. What's the scene there this morning?
It really hasn't let up here, Brian. We know that the conditions are supposed to improve as the day goes on. We expect that to happen. But let me show you something here. As we look out into the ocean here in Kill Devil Hills, we are still seeing massive waves come in. We were told that this area could still have to deal with 4 to 8 foot waves. And I tell you, they've been meeting, we think, those expectations in this area, crashing into the shore here, running all the way up to the dunes in some cases. We've got a few people standing there up on the beach trying to watch the waves here. And it might be a little dangerous for those folks. The advisory still stands for a strong rip current in this area, and so swimming is still not allowed. We did see some surfers in the water, or a surfer in the water last night. Not able to stand up on the board, though, because the wave action here is still so strong. And this is something that could still be a concern well into this evening. Farther down on Hatteras Island, which is still evacuated, the road to that island is still closed. People can't access it. And that's because they received so much flooding in that area, so much overwash of the ocean, pushing over and through the dunes in some cases, flooding that main roadway down there, and it's still a major concern. So today, while conditions are, again, expected to improve, we are not out of the woods just yet here along the Outer Banks, even here in Kill Devil Hills, Nags Head, and, of course, down in the evacuated area on Hatteras Island and Ocracoke Island, Brian.
Wow, Erin, it's so jarring to see how large those waves still are. Let's talk about Hatteras because you just mentioned it. Our understanding is the only highway into there is closed because of the flooding. So do we know how long it's going to be until it's reopened again?
Well, the short answer is no. We don't know how long it's going to take, but the reality is that there were so many sections of that road, and it's about 50 miles long from one end of Hatteras Island to the other. There were so many sections of the road where the ocean came and just topped over the road. It pushed sand onto the road, and not just like a little sand. We're talking about feet of sand in some cases that crews, every chance they got yesterday and even today, have been trying to move. They pre-positioned some heavy equipment so they could do that work, but it's going to take some time, and then they have to make sure the road wasn't compromised by the water that came on top of it and the sand that was piled up there. The county expects, they hope to be able to get down onto the island to start doing those inspections at some point today. And it's really important that they get that road back open and that they're able to get tourists back onto the island. Obviously, we're at the end of summer now, and tourism is the economy in this area. I want you to hear from one business owner that we spoke to by Zoom. He chose not to evacuate, stayed with some other folks who came to his property, who live in that area, who stayed at that motel during the worst of the storm in that area. I want you to hear about some of the concerns folks on Hatteras Island have. Listen.
The island has pretty much dodged a bullet. Not that it has not devastated us economically. It will really damage a lot of people's businesses. It will damage our business.
And so there's an effort now, obviously, to get that road back open, to get people back on the island. There's a methodical process that they use before they, as they let people back onto the island. It's not just move the gates and let everybody pour in. They really have a process for that. So it's going to take a little while, Brian, before this area is totally recovered from this hurricane that was hundreds of miles out to sea when it came past North Carolina, Brian.
Yeah, trying to balance safety for those that might be coming back while also trying to manage the waves, which are still very much substantial there. Erin, thanks so much. Well, now let's get a check on Hurricane Erin's path with NBC meteorologist Angie Lastman. Angie, good morning. It's crazy to see that those waves are still so big in North Carolina, but what's up next as it continues to go north?
Well, you want the good news or the bad news first, Brian, because we've got both of them. The bad news is we're still going to see some lingering impacts, but they're going to be minimal compared to what we've seen over the past couple of days, but they aren't zero. So we're still going to have to deal with some stuff. The good news is this system is weakening. It's right now in category 1. You can see the structure of it doesn't look all that great. And as expected, we're going to likely see this continue to move away from the East Coast at a pretty good pace of 22 miles per hour, but then eventually weaken. And this isn't going to be kind of a problem for us all that much longer. The only thing that we're noting here through the day today and potentially into tomorrow are some problems at the coast when it comes to water. The first one is that coastal flooding. Notice we still have some warnings in effect. We saw some pretty good storm surge yesterday, anywhere from 2 to 4 feet in some spots. You saw Erin talking about how we had overwash of the roadways and some issues when it comes to that. I wouldn't be surprised if we continue to still see some water on the roadways, especially at high tide times. We're still dealing with some of that water close to the coast, so no surprise if the flooding and those flood levels continue to be an issue through the day today near the shore. The thing that we're going to see lasting through the next couple of days is the rip current risk. That's going to be high up and down the East Coast, likely dealing with those life-threatening beach conditions today and tomorrow. And of course, we're rolling into the weekend, and it's a late summer weekend. A lot of folks are going to be heading to the coast, especially considering sky conditions and overall weather is going to be pretty good across this region. So folks are going to be at the beach, but staying out of the water, heeding those warnings from the lifeguards are going to be your best bet, because we will continue to see that be an issue. Otherwise, it's just some gusty conditions out there, not quite as impressive as yesterday, but still pretty good gusts, 20+ miles per hour. Some locations like Nantucket could near close to 40 miles per hour. So a heads up there, will still keep the breeze in place. Out west, different story. It's the heat that gets your attention. 47 million people from basically Portland down to Tucson are dealing with these heat alerts, with temperatures expected to break records in some spots. Look at Medford's high temperature today, 106 degrees. That's nearly 20 degrees above normal for where we should be this time of year. Las Vegas, of course, it's often warm in late summer in Las Vegas, but it's not just places like the desert Southwest that see temperatures well above normal. Again, tomorrow, Medford at 105 degrees. We've got high 90s across parts of Utah, Nevada, 104 in places like Hanford. We're going to continue to see the heat in place for our friends out west, so making sure that we're finding the cool spot is going to be your best bet there. A different story across the east. We're actually going to see cooling highs by the time we roll into next week. So we round out our weekend in Chicago with mid-70s, but notice by Monday, getting back to work, low 70s. It'll feel less like maybe late summer and more like early fall in some spots, especially in those early morning hours. Mid-80s expected in Raleigh. One last note, though, out west, we're going to see still those fire alerts. So heads up for Southern California. We've got the extreme heat that I just mentioned, but it's also going to be kind of a combination of things. Windy conditions, dry conditions, and the potential for some isolated lightning. So we will continue to see that risk for fires to start and spread quickly across that region.
Wow.
Whew, a lot to talk about weather-wise.
Jeez, yeah.
I can keep going if you want.
Fall is in swing, I guess, in Chicago. And in Las Vegas, it is indeed. It's hot. Yeah, it gets hot. It gets hot there sometimes.
We got a little of everything across the country.
A little bit of everything. Angie Lassman, thanks so much. Have a great weekend.
You too.
Well, President Trump's push for direct talks between Ukraine and Russia is up in the air this morning, despite recent meetings with leaders of both countries. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said Russia has no desire to end the war following a large-scale attack on western Ukraine just yesterday. Meanwhile, Russia is questioning Zelensky's legitimacy as a leader, casting any chances of a meeting between him and Russian President Vladimir Putin in doubt. NBC News chief White House correspondent Peter Alexander has the latest.
This morning, new reactions from both Ukraine and Russia amid President Trump's push for peace. The president has made the war a major focus with high-profile summits and an effort to put together a meeting between Russian President Vladimir Putin and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. The White House says Putin has agreed. But this morning, Russia's foreign minister tells Meet the Press moderator Kristen Welker in an exclusive interview there is no plan for a meeting yet, adding Putin would be ready only if the two leaders have an agenda.
You're saying there's no meeting planned right now?
Kristen, I'm awfully sorry, you're not listening. There is no meeting planned, and I'm not challenging this. But you cannot, I think, understand what I am saying. Putin is ready to meet with Zelensky when the agenda would be ready for a summit. And this agenda is not ready at all.
For his part, Zelensky has said Ukraine is ready, but that he wants security guarantees in place, which Russia does not support. while continuing its bombardment of Ukraine this week. Zelensky saying overnight, quote, Putin understands nothing but force and pressure. President Trump at one point optimistic for a peace deal.
I know the president, I know myself, and I believe Vladimir Putin wants to see it ended.
Yesterday seeming to encourage Ukraine to fight, writing it is very hard, if not impossible, to win a war without attacking an invader's country. And now appearing less confident about the possibility of peace.
Well, I'll let you know in about, I would say within 2 weeks, we're going to know one way or the other. After that, we'll have to maybe take a different tack, but we'll see.
Peter, thank you so much. Well, let's get now to some breaking news. The Maryland home of former National Security Advisor John Bolton was raided by FBI agents this morning. A source familiar with the matter tells NBC News it is part of a, quote, national security investigation in search of classified records. Shortly after the raid began, FBI Director Kash Patel posted on X that, quote, no one is above the law. FBI agents on a mission. That's all it said. The FBI has declined to comment on this, and NBC News has also reached out to Bolton for comment. Well, the redistricting battle is heating up across the country this morning. On Thursday, California's Democratic-controlled legislature passed a set of bills that have paved the way for a high-stakes election in November. Voters will decide whether or not to approve a new congressional map at that time, and all of this comes as Texas nears a final vote on its own redrawn maps. NBC News correspondent Dana Griffin joins us from Sacramento, California. Dana, good morning.
Brian, good morning to you. California Republicans didn't take any drastic steps to try to delay the legislative process. Instead, they are urging voters to vote no in the months leading up to the special election as the redistricting fight escalates across the country. This morning, California officially entering the ring in a nationwide political fight that could impact the balance of power in the U.S. House.
Going to meet the moment not just with rhetoric, but through action.
On Thursday, California's Democratic-controlled legislature passing a trio of bills aimed at redrawing the state's congressional map. The move designed to send 5 more Democrats to Congress, a response to Texas doing the same with Republican seats.
They fired the first shot, Texas. We wouldn't be here had Texas not done what they just did.
The power play now in the hands of California voters who will decide whether or not to approve the partisan map in a special election this November. Overnight, California's Democratic Congressman Pete Aguilar defending his state's move over criticism lawmakers are playing partisan games.
We have to act differently. We have to be able to be uncomfortable with what we're doing because the country demands it.
But California Republicans say 2 wrongs don't make a right.
You know, the governor says they're fighting fire with fire. Well, the problem when you fight fire with fire is you burn it all down.
Meanwhile, Texas now on the cusp of passing its own redistricting maps.
5 ayes, 3 nays, and 1 absent. House Bill 4 will be reported to the full Senate with a favorable recommendation.
Aiming to send 5 additional Republicans to the U.S. House. President Donald Trump, who supports the move, taking a victory lap on social media, calling it a big win for Republicans in Texas and across the country. The issue drawing former leaders into the fray. Former Republican Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger opposing redistricting, while former President Barack Obama is backing California's retaliatory response, saying he has tremendous respect for Governor Newsom's approach. The political tit-for-tat spurring a handful of states to potentially consider similar moves.
We're going to continue to talk to these states to try to meet them where they are, which is in the dirt.
California voters will have their final say November 4th. As for Texas, the Senate in that state expected to vote today for their redistricting plan, and Governor Greg Abbott expected to sign it soon after. Brian?
Dana Griffin in Sacramento. Thanks so much. Well, this morning, the Menendez brothers face a major blow to their bid for freedom. The California Parole Board denied Eric Menendez's request for parole yesterday, saying he won't be eligible to try again for another 3 years. Lyle Menendez has his own hearing later today. NBC News correspondent Liz Kreutz is outside the prison where the brothers are being held. Liz, good morning.
Hey, Brian, good morning. Yeah, that decision came after a 10-hour hearing, which is 4 times longer than the average parole board hearing here in California, with the board hearing not only from Eric, but also from 18 of the Menendez family members. Still, it wasn't enough to sway the commissioners, who told Eric that despite what his supporters may say, he was not, in fact, a model prisoner.
Overnight, a major setback for the Menendez brothers, who have spent more than 3 decades behind bars for murdering their parents. After a nearly 10-hour hearing, the California Parole Board ruling Eric still poses an unreasonable risk to public safety and denied his request for parole, saying he can reapply in 3 years. Board Commissioner Robert Barton gave several reasons for the decision, including the 2 burglaries Eric committed before the murders and the murder of his mother, Kitty, which Barton said especially showed a lack of empathy and reason. The board also questioned Eric about his prison record, including repeated use of contraband cell phones. Eric, now 54, and Lyle, 57, have long maintained the crimes were an act of self-defense after years of sexual abuse by their father, Jose.
My dad had been molesting me.
Earlier this year, a judge reduced the brothers' sentences, making them immediately eligible for parole. During Thursday's hearing, Eric at one point becoming emotional when pressed by the commissioners about why the brothers killed their mother, explaining he was devastated when he learned Kitty had known for years about the alleged abuse, saying, "I wish to God I did not do that."
I know. We are certainly disappointed as a family.
Family members who want the brothers set free, vowing to keep fighting.
Nonetheless, our family is still very behind him. This isn't over.
The LA District Attorney, who has opposed their release, applauding the decision, writing in a statement, the board did not bow to public spectacle or pressure, a restraint that upholds the dignity and integrity of the justice system.
I was going to ask, what was the response
Brian.
to the parole board's decision, and what does it mean for Lyle at his hearing today?
Yeah, so it was interesting. There was a pool reporter that was able to watch the hearings and then disseminate notes about what was happening, and he described Eric being visibly upset as the parole board commissioners were telling him about their decision, but he said that Eric remained respectful and nodding and listening here. We do know that Eric has a stepdaughter, Talia. He is married and has a stepdaughter. She has been posting on social media saying that she is devastated and so upset by this decision. As for Lyle, the Menendez family says that they are disappointed but remaining cautiously optimistic ahead of his hearing, which is later today. Brian.
Liz Kreutz in San Diego, thank you so much. Well, much more to come here on Morning News Now, including later this hour, the AI revolution heading to hospitals, how doctors dealing with burnout are turning to the new technology for help. But up first, the world's leading body on hunger declares a famine in Gaza City, how Israel is reacting as its army vows to destroy the area if Hamas doesn't agree to its terms. We'll have the latest when we come back. We're back now with some breaking news out of the Middle East. This morning, the world's leading authority on food crisis has declared a famine in parts of Gaza. The UN-backed Integrated Food Security Phase Classification, or IPC, says famine is occurring in Gaza City and is expected to expand to other parts of the Palestinian enclave. Israel has been restricting aid into Gaza for months, and this week began a major military campaign to capture Gaza City. Speaking after the report's release, the UN aid chief criticized Israel for not allowing enough aid in and called on Prime Minister Netanyahu to stop the attacks on Gaza.
It is a famine. The Gaza famine. It is a famine that we could have prevented if we had been allowed. Yet food stacks up at borders because of systematic obstruction by Israel. My demand to Prime Minister Netanyahu and anyone who can reach him: enough. Ceasefire. Open the crossings, north and south, all of them. Let us get food and other supplies in, unimpeded, and at the massive scale required.
NBC News international correspondent Matt Bradley joins us now from Tel Aviv. Matt, some pretty harsh words there from the UN. Doctors and aid workers have been reporting on starvation in Gaza for some time, but this is an official declaration of a famine. So what is the significance of that, and what does the report say about the situation there?
Yeah, that's right, Brian. I mean, you could say that this is symbolic. It just makes it official. It makes it administrative. But it also, in a way, makes it legal. It will change the way that we talk about Gaza when it comes to food security and hunger issues, because now we have that official designation, that imprimatur of the body that normally goes around making these classifications. And they labeled Gaza City in Phase 5. Now, this is both an organization that does these investigations. It's affiliated with the United Nations. It also is a metric. So Phase 5 is famine, and it's defined by destitution and death, according to this organization, and malnourishment to the levels that would be very difficult to reverse. And that's one of the reasons why this report also said that the level of famine and the humanitarian crisis is going to deepen into September. So by the end of September, we're going to see even higher numbers of people dying from malnutrition. And the interesting thing about this, and the really telling thing, is that it's been months since Israel started loosening its blockade on the Gaza Strip, allowing in more goods by the truckload and allowing them to be airdropped. So it clearly is saying that these current methods of relief are not enough, and that the situation is going to get worse, and as we heard from the United Nations, unless the floodgates are open and food is let in huge quantities.
Matt, how is Israel responding to this report? I mean, is this likely to change Netanyahu's thinking at all on what he's doing in Gaza City, or it's just kind of full steam ahead?
Yeah, I don't think it will, and that's just my opinion. But from what we've heard from the government and from Netanyahu, multiple agencies have already slammed this report so far today, saying that they will change their criteria and their basis of measurement in order to basically exaggerate the situation and the dire circumstances in the Gaza Strip. Now, we've heard reports from people saying that, and there were news reports saying that the IPC had lowered its threshold for famine in the Gaza Strip, something it hadn't done in other countries, and that it was using a different measure for children by measuring their arms, which is not normally done. It's a faster way of making these assessments. However, as you mentioned earlier in your introduction, we have known about these famine conditions. We have seen the pictures over and over again, and our teams in Gaza have described them to us, so we understand the circumstances and how bad they are with or without an official classification.
Yeah, those images are just really harrowing. Let's talk now about this temporary ceasefire proposal that Hamas accepted earlier this week. We understand that Israel now has a response to that. What are we hearing from them?
Yeah, not so much a response as just an offer from Benjamin Netanyahu that he will actually go to negotiations. Now, this has been in the midst of fierce protests all across the country for much of the past week, demanding that basically Netanyahu stop his plans to expand his military operations in the Gaza Strip and move toward a ceasefire and negotiations. This is something that Netanyahu and his government have very strongly rejected and done so for the past several months. Now Netanyahu is saying that he needs to see a full end of the fighting, no more piecemeal deals, which is kind of a reversal from what he was saying months ago, which was that he wanted a release of hostages and he didn't want to talk about the full end to the war. So now it looks as though from people here in Israel who are protesting in the streets, they're saying that all this will do is extend the fighting and risk the lives of the hostages and extend the suffering of the Gazan people for months and months, they say, just so that Netanyahu can stay in power and not break his right-wing government.
Matt Bradley in Tel Aviv, thanks so much. Well, more international headlines now. At least 17 people are dead after separate attacks in Colombia. NBC correspondent Danielle Hamamdjian joins us now with that and more in world news in 60 seconds. Good morning, Danielle.
Good morning, Brian. That's right. We begin in Colombia and what's being described as the most serious security crisis in decades. At least 17 people, as you mentioned, are dead and dozens are injured following two separate attacks: a car bomb on a busy street and a drone attack against a police helicopter. The attacks are believed to be linked to different factions of the FARC, the now defunct Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia. To Thailand now, where insulting the monarchy can get you 15 years in prison. The former Prime Minister, Thaksin Shinawatra, was accused of doing just that during an interview back in 2015. This morning, the case was dismissed after he denied any wrongdoing and pledged loyalty to the king. And finally, to one of the most popular diving spots in the Mediterranean. This is a bronze statue of Jesus Christ that was just cleaned using pressurized water. It's located off the coast of the Italian Riviera, Portofino to be exact, It's relatively easy to access and a hot spot for divers. And a quick history lesson for you, Brian, here. It was made using melted metals belonging to Italy's fallen soldiers back in 1954, a symbol of sacrifice during the Second World War. Pretty stunning.
Yeah, fascinating stuff there, Danielle Hamamjian. Thanks so much. Well, coming up, return to the spotlight. Former Vice President and presidential candidate Kamala Harris is hitting the road, but this time it's not part of a campaign. We'll tell you about why she's about to take off on a global tour. Up next in Politics Now. We are back now with a closer look at what's making news in the world of politics this morning, starting with President Trump threatening funding for California schools over transgender policies. NBC News Capitol Hill correspondent Julie Sirkin joins us now with that and more. Hey, Julie.
Hey again, Brian. Nice to see you. We begin in California. No, it's not about redistricting, but about the Trump administration cutting funding for that program you just mentioned, intended to prevent teenage pregnancy and childhood sexually transmitted infections. The White House is pulling the $12 million grant over the state's transgender policies. President Trump himself this week said on Fox that the program included, quote, radical gender ideology, but he didn't provide many details. It's the latest step in the administration's fight against the state of California, led by Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom, but it's also a fight against rights for transgender Americans. And it won't end with California. That's because Trump's Department of Health and Human Services is reviewing state curriculums, and nearly 40 states have already been notified that they need to make the same changes or face similar consequences. Now across the country to New York for a truly bizarre story. A longtime advisor and fundraiser for New York Mayor Eric Adams was suspended from his re-election campaign after she tried to hand a journalist from the city a potato chip bag filled with cash. You heard that right. Winnie Greco was outed by a local news organization called The City for trying to give the cash to one of its reporters after a campaign event on Wednesday. The cash was stuffed inside a Hers sour cream and onion Ripple potato chip bag. Another one of Adams' advisors, who abruptly resigned in December, was just indicted after being accused of taking $75,000 in bribes. And from New York to California, or I guess all over, former Vice President Kamala Harris announced a 15-city book tour, taking her all over the country, to Canada, and even across the pond to London. The tour will kick off September 24th, one day after the release of her memoir, 107 Days, which you can guess is about her historic and short campaign for president last year, after then President Joe Biden dropped out of the race. The last stop for Harris will be in Miami in November, and she's hitting some unfriendly territory too, like Texas, Tennessee, and Alabama, fueling even more speculation around her political future. And that is a look at what is making news in politics this morning. Brian?
Yeah, I feel like the potato chip details are so detailed, like onion, sour cream and onion specifically. That's really crazy. Julie Sirkin.
The people have to know.
Yeah, I guess so. Julie Sirkin, thanks so much. Appreciate it. Well, on the health front, nearly half of all doctors in the U.S. say they are getting burned out. NBC News medical reporter Dr. Akshay Syal takes us inside the exam room to show us how artificial intelligence is offering physicians a helping hand with their heavy workload.
Hey, how are you?
Inside this hospital in Boston, a quiet revolution is underway. It's not a new drug or a breakthrough procedure. It's artificial intelligence, used to fight doctor burnout.
Many clinicians feel completely overwhelmed.
Nearly half of all physicians are reporting at least one symptom of burnout. And a 2023 survey found that 2 out of 5 doctors say they would consider leaving within the next 2 years.
Is it okay if I use the iPad to listen to our visit and help me write my note today?
Yeah. All right. Dr. Rebecca Mishuris is the Chief Medical Information Officer and primary care doctor at Mass General Brigham, and an early adopter of a new artificial intelligence tool designed not to replace doctors, but to help them stay in the job.
In medicine, there's a phrase, pajama time, right? Time we spend outside of the clinic at our home, doing things like charts and notes. How much has that changed as a result of this product?
So for me personally, I have no more pajama time.
None?
None. My notes are done when I walk out of clinic at this point.
The technology is called ambient documentation. It listens during the visit, transcribes a conversation, and drafts a summary note.
How can technology actually work to fight burnout?
And the magic of this is that it happens in almost real time. It's recorded, and literally within 20 or 30 seconds, the draft note appears for the clinician.
Until now, right, really hasn't been a clear intervention that can dramatically reduce burnout.
And now these AI scribes are becoming more common across the nation. from doctors in California to Georgia to here in Boston, all saving countless hours for doctors at the brink. And they're seeing staggering results. In new data just published, the AI scribes were linked with a 21% reduction in burnout at Mass General Brigham.
Do you find like it's brought you back to the reason you wanted to be a doctor in the first place?
It really has. I have joy back in caring for my patients because I can just sit and listen to them and work with them to figure out what is going on and what we should do next.
Patients like Sharon Hinton don't mind an extra presence in the room, even if it's a computer.
I had more control over what was actually going into the record, and she let me see it. It was cool.
Did you ever think that you would have artificial intelligence inside the doctor's office?
Not really, but kind of, because I'm from the generation, we had the Jetsons and robots and Star Trek. So we're the generation that dreamed that it might happen someday.
For doctors and patients alike, it's helping medicine feel a little more human again. Dr. Akshay Sayal, NBC News, Boston.
Coming up, the decline of the bookworm. Next, we'll look at a study that found way less Americans are reading for fun these days. It's a major shift in habits which could be impacting our health. That's when we come back. We're back with a somewhat surprising change in Americans' reading habits. A new study revealed that a growing number of people aren't reading for fun anymore. In fact, from 2003 to 2023, the number of people who read for enjoyment dropped 40%. And some experts say this downward trend could lead to health and to social challenges, impacting people's learning skills, relationships, and mental health. Dr. Jill Sankey is here with more on this. She's one of the co-authors of this new study and the co-director of the Epi Arts Lab. Did I get that right?
You did.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about what's going on here. What are the results of this study and what kind of stood out to you the most?
So as you said, we've seen a significant decline in reading among Americans in the past 20 years, and this follows on a pattern of declined reading over the past 80 years, actually. The thing that really stood out the most for me beyond the decline is that people are just not reading with children very often. We saw in this sample of over 236,000 people, 21% of them have children under the age of 9 at home, and only 2% reported reading with those children.
And those numbers were higher in the past, presumably.
Actually, that number hasn't changed much in the past 20 years, but for me, just that low figure was very concerning, given the implications for children on learning, lifelong reading habits, and on health.
Why is it important to track these types of statistics?
For me, my research is based on the health benefits of all forms of arts participation, including reading for pleasure. And I think this is really important to our health, individually and collectively. It's also really important to readiness for education, readiness for reading, and reading capability and habits across the lifespan.
Yeah, what does it do to our health if we're not reading for fun and not kind of putting that as part of our habits, especially given what you said about the kind of family relationships, too, if you're not, like, reading with your kids?
That's right. Yeah, it's really important for bonding. But reading for pleasure is one of the tools we have in our toolkit for health and well-being. We know that reading for pleasure can reduce anxiety, it can increase relaxation, it stimulates our imagination and our creativity. It just contributes in so many ways to our well-being. And when we're not taking advantage of tools like that for our well-being, we're losing health advantages.
Yeah, and the social aspects of it are huge, too. One of my favorite things is to give other people a favorite book and learn a little bit about them as they learn a little bit about me. So.
Yeah, talking about reading. Reading itself and talking about reading are really important for developing empathy and social connection.
Dr. Jill Sankey, thank you so much for joining us in the studio this morning.
Thank you, Brian.
Appreciate it. Well, we've got the latest financial headlines now, starting with Google expanding its AI technology around the globe. CNBC's Silvana Henao joins us now with more details. Good morning.
Hey, Brian, good morning to you. Yeah, so Google is expanding its AI mode to 180 new countries and adding new features. You can now use AI mode to find restaurant reservations and eventually local service appointments and event tickets. So you can request reservations based on several preferences, such as the size of your party, the date, the time, the location, and cuisine. AI mode will generate a curated list of options. NVIDIA has reportedly asked its main chip manufacturer, Taiwan's Foxconn, to stop work on its H20 AI chip. That is the most advanced product NVIDIA is currently allowed by the U.S. government to China. Now, but that chip has been hit by allegations from China's cyberspace regulator and state media. It could pose security risks, and reports say Chinese authorities are warning local tech firms against buying the H20. NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang is visiting Taiwan today. The company reports earnings on Wednesday. And chocolate prices are still high, but consumers could start to see some relief. Cocoa prices have eased from the record highs late last year, which was caused by bad weather and low production in West Africa, which accounts for about 75% of the world's supply. JP Morgan says supply is increasing again, which could filter through to prices by next Easter. However, the impact of U.S. tariffs could put pressure on costs, Brian.
Say it ain't so. It's going to get more expensive for Easter next year. We're already talking about prices Easter next year.
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
Get ready.
Savannah Hanau, thank you so much. Well, the sports now with Alabama's Columbia Eagles, who have, get this, 91 straight losses on the football field. It's the longest losing streak in high school history, but their luck might be about to change in a big way. NBC News correspondent Sam Brock has the story.
Hey there, what a story this is. It has been a long road for the Eagles. The program's last win in football was October 16th, 2015. Barack Obama was the president at the time. But new head coach Sammy Coates, a former NFL receiver and Alabama native, is now on the sidelines, bringing a new mentality and a new culture, splashing some help from the NFL and a major sports drink brand. And you've got all the ingredients for brighter days in Huntsville.
Success on the football field could be right around the corner for the Columbia Eagles, who, despite logging nearly a decade of consecutive losses, 91 to be exact, are finally ready to hit back.
What's that going to feel like to get that first win?
You know, I feel like they winning already. Before we even get that first win, I think we already did the right thing of winning in the practice and winning in the classrooms.
Coach Sammy Coates, a former NFL wide receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers and Houston Texans, among others, has a new title, Culture Changer.
Tell me, what were your expectations when you got on campus, and then what was it like to actually meet the guys?
First week on campus, it was kind of like, okay, I can see what's been going on, the lack of discipline, lack of attention span. You know, biggest thing for me was just getting them fixed inside the building, making them respect the teachers, respect the janitors, respect the cafeteria workers. Those are all things that are going to help you win on the field.
Consider that message received. Players are putting in the work, Coach says, and unleashing their potential. Their story inspiring some big brands to help them achieve their goals. Gatorade lending a helping hand.
My name is Kevin Lewis. I'm with the Gatorade Sports Science Institute.
Setting up a station to test their hydration and salt levels to the iconic NFL films, joining practice for a documentary. All the reasons not to quit the Columbia High School story. And the team is feeling the love.
I feel really different. I ain't never had nothing like this. It's making a big impact, because they really feel like they care about us. I never thought, right now, at least I'm in high school still. I didn't think cameras would be out here and stuff.
The NFL even arranging a pep talk from Detroit Lions star defensive end Aiden Hutchinson, who suffered a brutal leg injury last year, but like the Eagles, is working his way back. Now their right to earn it starts tonight under the bright Friday night lights against the Priceville Bulldogs.
Hey, make sure y'all go to sleep tonight, man. We got a game tomorrow.
With the state of Alabama and the football world waiting to see these young Eagles take flight.
As for Coach Coates, he is definitely a hometown hero. He grew up in Alabama, played for Auburn, and could have picked from a number of different head coaching jobs, but he chose this one. Tonight's game is on the road, and he says they're going to have a couple of Spirit buses packed with kids and fans ready to go. Back to you.
Well, let's see if they get dubbed there. Sam Brock, thank you. Well, now to a reunion decades in the making. An 83-year-old Illinois man getting back a beloved baseball glove that he lost back in middle school. Madison Porter from our NBC News affiliate in Illinois has the story.
Steve Roosevelt walked these hallways in 1955 when he was just 12 years old.
Yeah, it looks exactly the same.
If these walls could talk, they might remember Steve and his friends liked to throw around a baseball during recess. And once the bell rang, Steve had the perfect place to hide his glove during class.
These lockers were not here. It was just an open space. I put my glove up on a shelf there. Then I'd go into the classroom. And then when class was over, I'd grab it and go home.
Until one weekend.
When I came back Monday, all these lockers were in place, and the glove was somewhere in behind there. Never did see it again.
Steve didn't share that secret for years, worrying how his dad would react.
I wonder how the old glove's doing in the wall.
Like a time capsule, the glove stayed hidden, even after the Washington Park District took over the old middle school building in 2005. 2 years ago, staff started some renovations.
Myself and one of our maintenance guys were up in the ceiling tile looking around and pulling cable, and I shined my light down, and I was kind of like, that's weird. So I just reached down, picked it up, and it was an old ball glove.
McMiniman spent weeks trying to find the owner, whose name was written on the wrist strap, but gave up. Until recently, when he decided to pull it out one more time in front of the district's landscaper.
I said, Steve Roosevelt. And he's like, yeah, I know who Steve is.
And when they gave the glove back to Steve, who is now 83 years old, they said his smile made him look like he was 12 again.
Before I could even finish, he said, you found my glove.
I knew right away what it was. Never would have ever thought that would happen.
A time capsule kept in the walls for decades, seeing generations of students come and go, until the time that the walls of the old Washington Middle School started to talk.
They've taken the history that they've confined for the last 70 years and gave it back.
Wow, not everything that's lost can't be found. Well, thanks to Madison Porter for bringing us that story. Roosevelt said even after all that time, the glove is in almost new condition, so he'll likely put it on display in his home.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.